So this is Welcome to the Lake Show. We're here with your boy Coach C. We're here on the first show. This is the first show, so for the first one, I had to actually bring in somebody that was just so big for Westlake. And as you can see here, we got 11 state championships here, and I'm here with none other than Coach Cage.
How y'all doing out there, Coach Cage?
So Coach Cage, when I started this documentary, you were one of the first people that really helped me. You helped me, get to know the community. I'm not from around here or anything like that. So I feel like you got me in here deep into the community and so on. And being that you started off this track program where it is right now with 11 state championships, I just wanted to start off, bring you back a little bit. So we're going to talk about winning the 7A state championship with the boys and girls. Right now, the boys kind of got it locked down. The girls, they had just lost the 4x4 relay. And this day, which was the finals, they needed to win the 4x4 championship after losing it the day before. Can you talk about that situation?
Yeah, I can talk about that situation. First of all, thank you for inviting me on. So just rewinding back to 2023, the girls made it to the prelims in the 4x4, and then we made it to the finals in the 4x4. We were not favored to win. There was a lot of things going on. Of course, at this time of the season, a lot of athletes are banged up, a lot of injuries. So as the head coach, I think it was time for me to make a change, a switch on that relay. We had been running the same order the whole year. And once we switched that order, we switched it for the finals. I told the girls, went to the tent, told the girls, said, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to switch up the order. We're going to change a couple of legs. We really only changed like 2 legs. But I know like our anchor leg, I told Zanaya Jones, Pac-Man Jones' daughter, that she's going to run anchor. I believed in her. So once we made that switch, man, we started off coming in with a slight lead on first leg, Aiden Kennard, which was our freshman. And then it was just a history after that. We had Mia McGee also on that relay, Zy Holmes, and we brought it home with Zanaya Jones, man. And man, that was one of the biggest moments in a Westlake track and field because, we were not favored to win. Like I said, we won 11 state championships. It's not easy. You always have a target on your back, but sometimes you just need a personality switch in a relay order. And once we made that switch, it really shocked the girls. They were really shocked when they crossed the line. When Zanaya crossed the line, it's actually a picture of her looking back to see how far the rest of everybody else was because we hadn't needed that win because we were behind, but we sealed the win with the win in the 4x4.
Okay, so that picture I actually took myself, where Zanaya Jones is like an iconic picture in Westlake history. I took that picture myself, and I just knew that they lost the relay the day before, and just to see, the difference and how much they won by on that relay was just an iconic moment in Westlake track and field. So can you just talk about how tough it is to win like on a 7A level for track and field, but not even that, but you guys won the girls and the boys. So can you just talk about just the work ethic it takes to put in to do that?
Man, it's not easy. If any coach is out there.
First of all, drop a little splash on them. Splash on them.
Splash on them? Oh, okay. With the jury.
Okay, yeah, we splash.
We got the pink rings. We got the pink ring. We got the silver ring. We got a big one this year. First time in history that a state championship ring, the top is going to open up and have a track in the middle with a special message inside. We're going to have that ring ceremony.
So I thank you for getting me, my ring. So, I got my ring and I'm getting another one, so I'm happy for that. So back to talking about just the dedication it takes to win a state championship on a high level like that.
On a high level, man, it's tough, man. It's not easy. Like I said, if any coach has been, fortunate enough to win a state title on any level, it's going to be tough. It's going to be taxing. This year, it took a lot of coaching, and last year, 2023, we talked a lot. Of course we did the workouts, but there was more talking and mental coaching than ever before in the last 2 years, man. We would talk for hours upon hours until the sun go down after practice. Especially our hurdle coach, Coach Davis, man, he would be there to the lights out, just giving the girls and guys conversations. But to your question, to win at the top level, man, is not easy. It takes a lot of work, a lot of coaching. Of course, there's been times, man, on the track. I know with the girls especially, we give you an example. One day we had a workout, we were doing some 200s. They were not hitting the times that we wanted them to hit. So on the first rep, they were lackadaisical, just being lazy. On the second rep, I got on the track and said, stop, turn around, and go back and do it again, or go home.
Gotta do that sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta do that, man, because it's a mental check, a physical check. If we give you the times, and you're not hitting the times which we know you can, you gotta go home. Because we're at a program, we want to perform at the highest level, and we want to win the state title, because it takes a lot of guts to win a state title. Everybody has to be on cue. We coach our kids up, stay off the white line. If the incoming runner drops the baton, the incoming runner has to give it to the outgoing runner. It's just the small things, because we have won and lost championships just over mental errors. Thank God we have won 11, but I know it should be more, because I put the blame on myself. It's just coaching and just the little mental errors that make you get to the top.
Okay, so speaking of 11 state championships, obviously you've come across some amazing athletes. So I'm just gonna put you on the spot. Who do you think was the top athlete you've ever coached here at Westlake from track and field, and why?
You're narrowing it down to one, right?
One, top dog.
The top dog. Oh man, I'm just gonna have to go with my guy C.D. Shot, man. He came in out of middle school, running 49 seconds, and this guy's right now a senior at 45 seconds. He broke the state record in the 10th grade. I haven't seen that, as many years as I've been coaching. Especially the feat that he did last year, man. This guy fractured his toe. And for those of you who do not know about City, he's not with us during the fall because he's hooping. He's playing basketball. That guy usually comes to us like February. And the state meet is in May. He's been gifted, God-gifted talent, but he also puts the work in. And last year what he did, he had a fractured toe. He did not run his first meet until like the Christian Coleman. That's like March. Okay, so he was out the whole time. And just to see what he did, fight through adversity, he didn't whine or complain. He could just continue to fight, continue to grind. He did not win every race. And once again, like I said, that he did not win every race, but he came and fought. We went out there to California, to Arcadia. He went out there, he took an L. But like I said, these are just lessons. When you take the losses, they are just lessons. But at the end of the day, he ended up PR, and he got second at the state meet. He got edged out at the state meet by a great runner from Beaufort. And he PR'd 45-3. So
yeah, I wanted to actually speak on that race a little bit. That probably, was one of the best high school 400 meter races I've ever seen in my life. Like, for it to come down, and the crazy thing is, it was hyped up as this race. That guy CD's been racing against for, like a lot of his time, for a long time. So for this guy to go out the way he did, and for CD, coming around that back stretch, I took some great pictures of that race as well.
Right.
But just to see, it was a little controversy in that race with the bumping a little bit in the arms, but it's probably the most competitive race I've ever seen in my life. Can you just talk about the ending and how that race ended and just...
Yeah, I can talk about that race, man. That was a very fast race. I remember prelims, Irvin Pearson from Beaufort, another great program, shout out to Beaufort. Man, that guy ran, first of all, he ran 45 in the prelims. When I saw him run that 45 and it looked like he was on cruise control, I said, oh, it's about to be a race tomorrow. Then City came back with a 45 in the prelims. So they were in different sections. So the final day, the gun goes off, bow. Irvin Pearson, man, he is getting out. He is racing. He is racing.
That's when I knew it was going to be on. When I saw the way he got out.
Man, the way he attacked that first 50 to 100 meters, man, I said, it's going to be a race. It's going to be all the way to the line. I knew it was going to be all the way to the line anyway, but I just didn't know it was going to be a dive. But to go back to that, City actually won the Christian Coleman meet with a dive. And it kind of goes to show you that kids watch film, and hats off to Irvin Pearson. Man, he ran a great all the way around.
Great race.
Great race. To me, it's just a perfect race, man. And he just fought all the way to the end, just all heart. And he edged them out, dived at the line. They bumped each other. That's part of track and field. I don't process things like that. But at the end of the day, the guy won. And just going back to City, going back to why I say he's the best track athlete that I have seen, because I know City, he's already part of 5 school records. If you go out to our record board, that guy's name is on the board 5 times. We could have put him in 100 last year, and he could have broke the school record. We could have put him in the 800, and he could have broke the school record in that also. But that's why I
from
say
the 100 to the 800
from
to
the
be able to
100.
do that, that's just like, that's amazing. If anybody runs track out there, for somebody to be able to break the record at a school like this, the 100 meter and the 800 meter, and he's on all the relay records, and he has state records, it's just, hats off to CDGI. He's a great, and he also, went to the World Games and won, a gold medal on the 4x4 relay and also a bronze medal in the open 400. And that's against dudes that were older than him in college and so on.
Yeah. So he went overseas and won a gold medal, man. And that's another accomplishment, man. A gold medal in 11th grade at the World Championship U20, man. That's big. And we just had a retirement. We just retired his jersey because I think he needed it. What he's doing at such a young age. So that's why I say he's probably one of the best track athletes I have seen. From the 100 and possibly the mile too. If he wanted to run, we put him in the mile, he could probably break that too. So we might play around. We're gonna play around with him a little bit this year. Put him in some other different events, and we're just shooting for the stars for this year.
Okay, so having 11 state championships, can you just talk about how this program got started under you? Yeah. And just to be the early days, because obviously you're not going to start in probably your first year and win a state championship off the top, especially being in Georgia, which is such a competitive state. Shout out to Georgia and the GHSA. Can you just talk about just how you started building this program? And this is for all the coaches out there. This guy is in a nationally ranked program here at Westlake High School. Y'all already know. The times speak for themselves. The athletes speak for themselves. How many athletes, went on to do great things from out of Westlake. But obviously it didn't start off that way. So can you talk about how we started off here just to become such a great program?
Yeah, so, man, I got to give a shout out to my guy, Robert Wilson. We have him on the Wall of Fame up here. He actually came in with me like 2005, 2006, man. We were in our 20s. And so we coached our first state championship. I learned a lot from him, man. At such a young age, he helped lead our team to win our state title with the boys. That was 2006, led by Addison Williams. He's now the defensive coordinator at UCF. It only took really 6 guys, man. Those guys were bought in. Those guys would lift weights after practice till the lights go out. And they helped us bring our title and bring our culture along. Our first girls' title was in 2009, man, and that was one of the I want to talk about my top 3 experiences later, but that right there, winning the girls' state championship in 2009, was historic, man, because we came into the finals. We did not have anybody in any field events. We had to start from ground zero. We had 0 points. So that means the next day we had to have perfect scores. So basically, we needed like 60 or 70 points to win. So when we step on the track, that means we had to win every event. And those girls went out there from the 400 to 800. We had a girl go out, Aubrielle Wright, went on to University of Alabama. She was not favored to win. Also, a young lady from Collins Hill was favored to win. She went out in 59 seconds. And for those of you who are in high school, ladies, this girl went out in 59 seconds, held on probably the last 5 meters, and ended up running 2:13. She won that. We won the 300 hurdles. We won the 4x1, 4x4. So that was a perfect day, man, and that was our first girls' title. And I think that 2013 through 2015, those were some dogs. Those were some piranhas. When the girls three-peated, we were loaded, and those girls three-peated, and we just won in 2017, boys and girls in 23 and 24, and we look forward to winning more.
Okay, so you coached AJ Terrell,
Mm-hmm.
you know, who starts for the Falcons. Shout out to AJ Terrell and the whole Terrell family out there, and also his younger brother Avion in track and field, and they were both football players. Number one, can you talk about how track and field helped them as far as being, you know, better football players, and also just talk about the difference between them as athletes, between coaching both of them. And as you know, Avion is starting for his second year as a sophomore at Clemson at DB, and obviously AJ Terrell is one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. Can you talk about just your experiences coaching those guys?
Man, coaching those guys, I gotta give credit to Mr. Terrell and Miss Terrell, man, because without them, those guys would not be what they are. Really, man, you know, we have it's a lot of football talent in the building, but I think also the parents have to be behind it. And I know AJ's dad was behind those boys, and his sisters also ran for us also. AJ's dad was behind those boys, pushing them. At the next level, if you go to any game, you have to have speed. You know, those guys were playmakers. AJ was a playmaker on offense and defense. Offense when they needed them, and also Avion.
Speaking of
AJ,
Avion, we're gonna drop that splash on him because you know Avion is smooth. He's smoother than water, man. So that dude Avion doing this thing out there, we're gonna drop a splash on him. All right, go on, man.
So I talk about AJ first. AJ ran a 4x1 and 4x4 for us, man. He really helped us win our title in 2017, man. A great kid, a hard-working guy, man. He don't complain, don't whine, just go out there and do it. Moving on to baby brother, Avion. Avion had been starting at varsity defensive back since he was ninth grade. He was like my side, 130 pounds, out there locking down wide receivers. Going to his junior year, man, that guy was not that fast. He ran like 56 in the 400. But you know what? His daddy kept pushing him out there, telling him to go. He could have quit. And I know he didn't want to continue to run. But that's why I say it's very important, man. You have to have the parent support and parents backing you up, backing that child up, and supporting the coaches. He supported us all the way through, man. Fast forward to 12th grade year, this guy Avion ran 47. He went from 56 to 47 open quarter, made the finals in the 400. He also split 46. He also split 20.9 on our 4x2. His name is on the record board out there like twice. So that guy is a hard worker, man. If you see any, you know, football guys that's at the skill position, I encourage them to go out there and run, man. You know, like I said, track speed is totally different than football speed, and you had to have playmakers. Like I said, one of the greatest things I saw in track was by a guy, Eric Berry. Moving on to him, Eric Berry had a broken arm at the snake meet, had a cast, right like this, from his wrist to his elbow.
Eric
Berry, running 4x4 for all you football guys. He was not scared of it. Ran the 4x4 with a broken cast from here to here. They were probably behind maybe 15 meters. Man, this guy was like a gorilla, man. This guy went and caught the ankle leg of the team in front of him. I'm not going to say the name, but that guy who he caught was a real roller too. You know, Alec Ogletree. The list goes on, man. So you have to be a playmaker. You have to have that track speed, man, in order to be a playmaker like that out there.
Okay, so we're sitting here looking at all these state championships right here, looking at all these great players up here from the Westlake and so on. Can you just talk about which of your 11 state championships do you think was your most proud moment to win a state championship, and why?
Man, I would say I would probably have to say that 2023 squad, man. 2024 did that thing too. But that 2023 squad, man, the reason why is because we were without a major bullet. We had a false start in 100 hurdles that would have put us over the top. She false started. I mean, that's part of it. We won and lost state championships off a false start. But this one right here, we really had to dig deep, man. I mean, the girls really, really had to dig deep. They had probably like a 10 to 10 second PR in the 4x4 in order to seal the title. So, you know, I never really, out of all these state titles, man, you know, it's cool. I get happy. But those girls really brought tears to the whole coaching staff when they went out there on that 4x4 and they actually won it, and they shocked themselves, man. So, just to see the other coaches, man, other coaches sharing tears of joy, track usually doesn't do that.
Again, this is for the Welcome to the Lakeshow documentary. This is the Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast. I'm here with Coach Cage, man, one of the most legendary, track and field coaches. Just can you talk about just winning the, the Coach of the Year last year, and just what type of, feelings you have from that?
No, it's cool. I won Coach of the Year before, man, but I'm more prouder, man. We have a great coaching staff here at Westlake, man. I wouldn't be what I would be except for them. Those guys, the assistants, they put in an unlimited amount of time on the track and the field, because there are so many different events in track and field. I really think it should be a coaching staff award of the year. Because I just play a small part. Everybody plays this part, but as a team, as a coaching staff, I'm really proud of them. Like I said, they show a limited amount of love to the kids, a limited amount of time to the kids. So I'm just proud of that we got recognized.
All right. So now social media is such a big part. You see, all these colleges and stuff. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration for. Just being a social media content creator and so on. You talk about the importance of, even on a high school level, of just having a good social media presence, and how that affects the kids.
Yeah, I think that's one reason why I asked Mr. C to come to almost every meet. Because it really does publicize the program. I even talk about it. We got a coaching clinic coming up. And I even talk about it. I think every track team needs a social media content guy, because that is vital to the program. That's the way the world is going right now. As you can see, your kids on your team, they all have Instagram. They all post track things. So I think it's vital, because it's almost like the heartbeat of a team, especially after the meets, because you want to see the highlights of yourself and all the kids.
All right, so we're gonna flash forward to I see you every weekend. You at a different college, going to these games and so on. Obviously, coaching all these top quality athletes over the years. You have built a good relationship with many college coaches. Can you just talk about how the NIL has changed the game, and also about even the transfer portal, and how the game is just so much different over the past few years?
Yeah, I mean it has switched up. Of course, NIL. Of course, if you're a top-notch recruit, they always want to know what about the NIL, and the transfer portal has changed the game also. But that's why I tell our kids who are getting recruited, I always treat each coach respectfully, because you never know if you might get in that portal. You want to develop a relationship with those coaches. I tell our kids after each visit, make sure you send those guys a thank you text or a thank you note. Thanking them for a visit. Do not take a visit for granted, because they can actually go get in the portal and invite somebody else in. So the portal has changed the game, but like I tell my kids, you have to go on your path, your journey. Every kid is not going to go to the top-notch ACC big name schools. There are some kids who are going to some lower tier schools. But like I said, you want to go where you can blossom and have success and build a good relationship with the rest of the coaching staff.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I already asked you about the top track athlete that you coached, but we're looking at just Westlake overall, and just give me a top 5 you think for the top 5 athletes that'll come out of Westlake. Only the top 5.
Top 5. Okay, I'm not gonna go by what they did afterwards. I'm gonna go by what they did in high school. I'm gonna name them out. I don't know if you can write them down, but I'm not gonna name them in no particular order. I'm just gonna start. I'll start with Raven.
Shout out to Raven Johnson.
What's up, Hollywood Johnson?
Hollywood, there we go.
Hey man, she was a very sweet girl. In high school. She would even come out to the track sometime, getting some mileage on her own. Very respectful, man. I think that's why she's gonna go a long way in life. I have to say Raven. I'm not gonna put an order on them yet. Raven, because she led the girls basketball team to 4 state titles. starting ninth grade.
Shout out to Coach Hankerson for that too.
Yes, Coach, and y'all did it. Y'all did that. Ninth grade, man. That's very, very young to be doing that and controlling the floor as a point guard. Second person, I had to say Little Tony Baptist. Little Tony was my height, like 5'6". He led us to the state championship game in the ninth grade as a point guard. And this is 7A basketball. I mean, that guy had handles. He wheeled and deal. I remember one time when I used to teach at Sandtown a while ago. He was at Sandtown. I was teaching. That was like my first year teaching. And the teachers told me about Little Tony and all my coworkers. And they were telling me about, he was on the A1 video in 4th grade. I said, you know what? He was in my PE class. I said, you know what? I'm about to play this guy. And at that time, he was probably 4'8", man. And you know, I'm like 5'6", 5'7". I played him one-on-one. I'm glad it wasn't no camcorders or no phones out that day because he drilled me, beat me bad. Going through my legs, the handles was off the chain. He was like a Kyrie Irving to me in high school. Number 3, this is the third person. I probably have to say Enriel Howard. Enriel Howard was up there too, man. Enriel played basketball, volleyball, cross country, track. I think I covered all her sports.
Shout out to Enriel. She in a WWE right now.
Yeah, man. She broke the NCAA record of rebounds. But let's talk about what she did in high school. She played basketball, was the leading scorer and rebounder. She would come out for track in like March because they're in the state playoffs. And she helped us win 3 state titles also. She still has the record for the triple jump out there, jumping 41 feet. City's got to be up there too, what he did at the World Championship. I would have to say City. Another athlete, I'm going to have to go with my boy AV, man.
AV?
I'm going with AV because what he did starting at the... And we talked
so you
going to
put AV before AJ?
Starting at ninth grade. He's my height now.
Yeah.
5'6".
Okay.
130 pounds. AJ is taller. And locking down wide receivers in the ninth grade. 7A football. And then come to the track in his senior year, going from 56 to 46 splits. That's unheard of. Anybody knows track.
So we know you're a track coach,
man.
so you probably got a little bit of bias. But shout out to people like Cam
and
Newton
then-
out there.
yeah, then-
shout out to Pac-Man Jones and people like
Pac-Man
that.
Jones,
But you know, you seen them all firsthand, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta ask you a question real quick. So you've been coaching track here for a while and all that, but where did you get the love from track and field?
I think the love for track and field started when I was probably like in 10th grade, man. Led by my coach, Coach Edward Stegall, man. He was a great coach, man. He was very disciplined. We still talk to this day, man. I started falling in love with it then. And then I went to junior college, fell in love with it out there also. And when I came here, man, I just have a passion for track and field. I just love track and field, man. So we're putting on a coaches clinic, bringing in some of the top-notch coaches around the country. And we're just going to show our love and spread our knowledge and wealth to the other coaches.
All right. So we're just going to conclude with just asking you, you know, obviously you've done a lot of things here. You know, the trophy speaks for itself. The athletes speak for themselves. Just wondering, what are your goals just going forward after you already accomplished so much?
My goals for going forward on the track.
For being a track coach here at Westlake.
Being a track coach. I think I got a lot more years left in the tank, man. I'm looking forward to continuing to develop relationships, man. You know, it's not always about the track. You know, just developing relationships off the track. Also, still have relationships with people today. They're old. They're in their 30s. They used to run for us, and they have kids. So just developing relationships off the track. One of my joys is just seeing kids go to school. You know. And going to school for free, getting a scholarship and getting that degree. We have one of our kids now, Mia Phillips. She's our jumps coach. She was part of the 3-peat. We call them the piranhas. They were like piranhas, man. They were so deep and scoring a lot of points. She's helping out now with our staff. So I'm just looking forward to developing relationships off the track, man. Because you know it's not always about track and field. There's more to life than track and field. But just developing those relationships and encouraging them and continue to mentor kids on and off the track.
All right. Well, Y'all hear it first here on the first Welcome to the Lakeshow. It's your boy Coach C. I'm here with Coach Cage, one of the best coaches here in Georgia, and he has the resume to prove it. Tune in. This is the first show, so we made history, and stay tuned for the next one. Drop the splash on them.